What if the key to building a successful business isn't in the data or numbers, but in trusting your soul? When judging success, most people are told that the numbers don't lie. We base our existence on numbers, leads, follows, etc. That becomes our main measure of success. But I want to talk about a new idea, an idea that has come into my consciousness and has been helping me a lot in terms of building a business that is fulfilling, and it is also able to serve people at a higher level. So I'm going to be going into why your intuition and soul can lead to a more meaningful and successful business in the long term. So what is intuition in business? Intuition is the inner knowing that comes from your soul. So when you're following your intuition, you're really just following your higher self. And it can be very difficult to do that, especially now, especially when you're in business, when everybody's telling you to follow the numbers, to get more leads. It's about the output. It's about the quantity. It's about doing more and more and more. And you're constantly almost in this chase of hitting numbers, of copying others. So intuition can be a super powerful tool that can serve to discern what information is actually valuable to you and your personal circumstance and also your business. Intuition is going to tap you into your uniqueness, creativity, and authenticity. And that's going to allow you to basically stand out in a crowded marketplace. I've mentioned these topics before in my previous videos, so you can check them out on my channel. But I mentioned things such as creativity, authenticity, positioning, etc., as a way to be able to basically hone in on who you truly are and serve people in the best way possible. And at the end of the day, we all inherently know that the only way to serve people at the highest level is to be true to ourselves. We understand, at least we understand that at a very conceptual level, and we desire that. Like, wouldn't it be great to live in a world where people are honest, transparent, authentic, and have your best interest in mind, and basically they understand that in serving others, they also serve themselves and they serve the collective at large, and so they're able to aid in the evolution of humanity. And now that's a whole nother topic, but the point is that following your intuition is about being in line with your creativity, authenticity, and just overall truth and purpose. Following my intuition has led me to connect with the people perfect for my business and mission in life. For example, let me just list off one of the main accomplishments being that I got shouted out by Naval. So if you guys aren't familiar with Naval, I'm going to show the tweet where he actually shouted out my channel. And this happened pretty recently. Let me see. This happened pretty recently, actually a few months ago. But here it is. So love is pretty simple. It's an acknowledgement of the other person's being. I thought that for somebody to feel loved, I had to make a grand gesture, but it's in the little things. Observe what a person desires and do what you can to fulfill that. So that's something that I said in the video, and it was a story that I was sharing because it was very dear to my heart. It was very dear to what I'm about, which is about service and being tuned into my soul and being tuned into love. So this guy says, I like that description, seems authentic. And Naval says, the speaker is super authentic. Check out his channel. Like, hell yeah, dude. Like, that's what the goal is, for somebody to be able to tune into that, to feel that. Another thing here. If YouTube's algorithm found you with that video, then you got mindful taste. I'm stuck on Rogan and the comedians. It's shot and scored, said Naval. So that's sick. Like the man really, I really loved my video. Like, it was really something that resonated with him. And obviously, like, the guy's acknowledging, like, how did you find this video? I had no thumbnail. It was just in the moment, raw picture. I literally came up with that title in the moment. And it really came from that place because I love to question how, like, I would love to ask these deeper questions that I have used in my past. What if you become the one person that changed everything in someone's life? That came from a question that I've had in like years before, when I would question, okay, so if I could be the example for somebody that shows, truth, authenticity, regardless of the situation, regardless of the circumstance, and I can change their life. Because imagine the people who have not encountered that. And so almost that within itself has served as a powerful driver and motivator for why I post videos. Because back then, when that was in June 19th that Naval shared it, back then I was still at work. I was still working my 9 to 5, or I still am basically. But I have my child, I have my wife. So I was doing that just because I knew that it needed to be said. And now, was I doing that to fulfill that specific question? No, inherently, I just did it because I knew I had to do it. And that question sounded something like it sounded like something the person that I was would resonate with. And so it came from my core. It came from my soul. Hey, what if you became the person that could change everything for somebody? For this one person, and the only way to do that is to be an example, is to basically break people's conceptions of what it means to be a human being through your lived example. So this video, it has so much. It's not even so much the video itself. It's an expression of my being. So, I see this in Naval. He shouted me out, which is sick as fuck. But also, I'm also glad that I'm still looking back. And I'm still doing my own thing. I'm still growing. I'm still developing my business, my way of moving in the world. Another thing that happened through following my intuition, because I don't want to veer off too much. But another example that happened is I'm building my community. And I started building my community because that's what business guys said that you should do. Alex Hormozi, he joined school. I've been following Alex Hormozi. He's a great guy that has given me a lot of insights into business. And he started his promoting school. And so he said, this is the way to make a lot of money. You basically create a course or you create a community, and then you put a lot of value in there. And then you just promote that. And at first I did that for that reason, but now, through time, I've realized that I don't want to just have a community just to make money. And yes, money is important, but through my community, I've been able to attract members that are basically my dream clients, my dream community. People that think like me, who have the same purpose, or we share a similar purpose, where we want to serve the whole. That's basically what this community is. And I have big goals for this community. I want this to be basically the place where we're able to create other leaders. Basically, that's my goal, to create other leaders, people who can embody their soul and can go out into the world and be authentic and be creative and serve the world from there. So it is the ability for me to basically, this community is a project where I want to use spirituality and psychology to raise people up to the capacity to serve. And it's been a beautiful ride. I've been able to connect with people. The community is growing. I'm getting engagement here and there. It's slow, it's small, but I'm not stressing about it anymore. I used to be so stressed out about it, but I've learned to take my time with things. But anyways, the main point is that I'm living the dream that my younger self wished to have. Maybe me even 5 months ago, I didn't think this was possible. I didn't think I could have a community of people who are genuinely here and want to learn from me, people who want to be a part of. I probably shouldn't be sharing information. People who want to be a part of something greater than themselves. People who want to be a part of this mission, of this purpose. So that's the thing, this is what, my intuition has led me to. It has led me to these synchronicities, Naval shouting me out, my ideal people coming and joining my community. And so that's what happens when you live a life following your higher self. Now, if that seems like something valuable to you, if you think that that's something that resonates with you, then we can continue on to the video and talk about the downsides of replicating other success, which is basically what I really want to talk about. People are constantly trapped trying to replicate other people's success because they think that that's what they want. That's what it means to be successful, right? But to me, in this video, we're going to redefine what it means to be successful. So let's go through it. For example, following this approach of chasing the numbers, chasing the views, chasing the leads, chasing all these things that are much more grounded on external validation, it can lead to burnout. It could lead to inauthenticity and ultimately failure because it doesn't align with your true purpose. I want to give a few examples, not to basically talk shit about people, but more so to, because this person right here, Vanessa Lau, she's been honest about it. And so, I don't know whether she's changed completely, whether she's, completely in line with her soul. Maybe, maybe that'll take some time, but it's interesting to tune in and see the evolution. So here we are. I'm just going to share a little bit of her story.
Coming back, I had really tough conversations with my.
With the recent news of Vanessa Lau.
Vanessa has been a leader in the online space.
Last year, I decided to leave social media and go ghost mode. I put up this announcement to my followers, letting them know that I was taking an indefinite break. I had no idea when I was coming back. I had really tough conversations with my clients and also my team members, and I ultimately decided to dissolve my business. Now, that was over a year ago, and it's crazy to think about, not just because I did it, but because I did it pretty much at the height of my career. I had 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, 250,000 followers on Instagram, a multiple 7-figure online course business. I was finally speaking on stages. I was also popping off. Like, my channel was doing really well. It was getting a lot of views. But I ultimately decided that this life ain't for me, and I peaced out and I shocked my corner of the internet. There was a lot of speculation of what happened. Did I get sued? Am I pregnant? And so today, I'm gonna share the actual story coming from the source, and I also wanna share the reflections that I've had this past year, because was building software, which is so cool. I met Cody Sanchez when I first met her. She didn't even have a YouTube channel, and she told me that she actually started her YouTube channel after hearing my talk and realizing that she was missing out on an opportunity not being on YouTube. And soon enough, because she's so smart, she scaled up to a whole content team, and now her channel has completely surpassed mine. She's crushing it. I met Leila Hormozi. You all know the Hormozis. They acquire businesses. I met YouTubers that have over 1 million subscribers. I also was in a room full of people that were making millions of dollars a month thanks to their masterminds. And so what I learned is that sometimes when you join these masterminds and when you go to these events, if you're not careful and if you don't have a strong mindset yourself, you can easily start seeing the things that you haven't done and that you haven't achieved. And that's what happened to me. When I started meeting more and more successful people, I started to feel like what I was building and what I had just simply wasn't enough. I wasn't good enough. And I needed to do more in order to be at their level, whether it was their level of revenue, their level of social media following, or their level of operations. While it was really cool to meet these super successful people, it also made me feel like absolute shit.
So, I mean, this is the comparison trap that I'm talking about and that I want to emphasize. She kind of glosses, she goes over it, but I'm going to go much deeper into it because there's also something that isn't being mentioned that I think maybe is still left to be discussed. Maybe I think she's missing out on a powerful topic that I'm hitting on, which is, yes, there's comparison trap. And when you're around people that are successful, you will want to be like them. It's almost like you're not doing enough. But I'm talking about something almost a little deeper, which goes to the problem of creating from a place of needing external validation for your business. So even for myself, I can explain it very easily. Seeing people hit hundreds of thousands of views with their YouTube videos, for example, especially early on when I was starting YouTube, I wanted to have that. I wanted to have those hundreds of thousands of views because that's what I felt like when I got there. I would feel like I'm doing it right, like what I'm doing, like my soul. It's almost like it's the validation of my idea. It's if I get those views, then it means that I am successful, that I'm really tuned in, that I'm really creative. And, having those views would really just solve that issue. And I, later on in my journey, more towards the end of when I stopped creating YouTube videos, I started doing shorts, and shorts were popping off, and it was a strategy, create shorts and you will pop off. it was a trend, and YouTube was really pushing that. And also Instagram Reels, like Instagram started putting in Reels, and so there was a high demand for Reels on Instagram. And so I was posting my shorts, I was posting my Reels, and I was getting the high engagement. I was getting the people reaching out to me, letting me know, yo, dude, like keep doing what you're doing. I really love your content. And even before that too, like my other YouTube videos, which were long form, but also weren't getting the same amount of views. I realized that people there, the validation was there, but I never felt like it was enough. And I stopped creating content just because it's almost like I just didn't want to do it. I saw the cycle that I was going to get into. It was, damn, I'm going to have to create shorts every single day to continue to get these views. I was like, damn, I'm going to have to create these YouTube videos, go into the research. We put in the hours, hundreds of hours into the videos so that I can be able to achieve this level of success. And I realized, I was like, I don't want to live like that. I want to do what I want to do. I want to do something that is in alignment with my soul. And I know that at the end of the day, for myself, it was like, I know I want to do that, but I don't know what it is. And so that prompted me to go and learn holistic healing and dive deeper into that. So I'm not just equipped with the spiritual and psychological resources to help people, but I also wanted to dive into the physical and emotional aspects, because I kept encountering people that were facing these things. So I took a hiatus, and then I came back. I'm coming back, and I'm making my comeback. But there was a reason why I left, and if I had started my YouTube channel with the desire to serve people, then I needed to make sure that it was sustainable, and so I just kept creating from this place where I was like, okay, more work equals more views, and that's really. I was in the business space, in the sales space. People talk about, more input equals more output. And that is true. But I want to do aligned input, quality input. And that will lead to quality connections. But that is the next point. And I want to go into another thing. I mentioned this in a previous video, but I feel like I can tell when people are not aligned in their content. Like I can feel the inauthenticity. It sounds sometimes when they're making videos, they're just repeating the same things because it's what works. And so I want to talk about also this video that I saw earlier, and it kind of added to what I'm learning right now. So this is by Morg Design, and he is exposing YouTube in a way that discusses how YouTube can basically be a pyramid scheme. Now, I'm going to show a few clips, but and then I will emphasize exactly what I want to discuss.
Content creator, and she's presenting herself as an expert on this topic. Despite having blogging is why she started making videos, and it's how she started her channel. She only started making videos with advice related to social media and content creation when she realized that that's what got more views.
Ever since I was a teenager, I dreamt of being a travel vlogger on YouTube. However, as the algorithm would have it, when my YouTube channel finally did blow up, it wasn't for the travel and filmmaking videos I was making at the time, but instead it was for a one-off Instagram story hacks video.
Her entire channel is centered on advice about growing a YouTube channel and becoming a content creator, and she's presenting herself as an expert on this topic. Despite having multiple videos about how to be a successful vlogger, her entire vlogging channel has fewer views than each of these videos on her advice channel.
Now, that's a really good point. People are out here basically on YouTube teaching people how to be on YouTube. And I think that's one, big thing. It's almost like they sell you the shovel. I don't know. I lost the metaphor. But anyway, I see it often in the space, which is people are putting out and they're not being authentic. It's not like talking about things that aren't really in alignment with their purpose. That's what I'm saying. Like, for example, this YouTuber, she wanted to do vlog videos, but then YouTube pushed her content videos, like how to create content videos. And so she went more into that. And that, I question then, is this person really aligned with their purpose? Are they really aligned with the things that tune them into to their soul? And I believe maybe yes. I believe that I have actually followed this YouTuber, and I found her videos to be helpful. But at the same time, I question whether, you know, what is the service that I'm going to get? Because if she's teaching me to be a YouTuber, but she's, you know, teaching from a place of, you know, I'm gonna coach you to be a YouTuber without the success of her being her own YouTuber, without having to rely on it's almost like let's like, what do you discuss? Like the pyramid scheme of, hey, so I can teach you to be successful and I'm successful by teaching you to be successful. So it's like this thing where it's like, okay, but you know, what about following your true path? And how can you teach me to be successful in following my true path and following something that I'm learning, and you're doing it the same? It's like there's a discrepancy here. You know, the person who is true to themselves and have succeeded in and basically achieved a level of success that has come from them being aligned with their true selves, versus a person who is selling how to be successful by teaching you how to be successful. Like this person is making money from teaching you how to be successful. And it's the same thing that I see like in trading, for example. Traders sell courses for trading, and they make more money from their courses than they do actually trading. And this is something that I've seen in many spaces. And so this is where I also question, like, what do I want to do? What is my path, right? And you know, often we opt for this path, which is, yo, I'm gonna sell the how to do the thing, and that's gonna be my main source of income, than actually teaching people how to grow and make money from that thing. So it becomes this endless cycle of people just teaching you how to be successful and making money from that, instead of being successful, being their true selves. And they will often opt for that versus this, because maybe this is less certain, you know. And this is the thing that I want to focus on later on. You know, the path to your true self isn't always so clear, and it's not going to be so easy to find on the web, because, well, guess why? Because it's your true self. So why would why would God present the future in, you know, why would God give you your future in somebody else's story? Like, no, you contain your story within you. Your future is within your story. It's within yourself. So people are more, you know, and so that might also not look like millions of dollars, and that also might not look like hundreds of millions of views or whatever. You know, like, it's most likely not going to be that, and that's completely fine. But people are so scared of seeing how that path would look like. How would it actually look like? Maybe it looks like a few $1,000s, and or maybe it looks like a few hundreds of thousands of views, or, you know, a few tens of thousands of views, and that's completely fine. Because, and then I'll go into this later, but what I'm learning is that people are so afraid to follow their true path because it's so unclear and it's not out there, and so they'd rather depend on the outside in order for them to be able to continue and grow. So they'd rather put in hella work and burn out than be true to themselves and take a risk and find out, basically. Now let's go into, I think he was discussing another topic. Let me see.
I recently watched this video on Katie's channel, Beginner Guide to Editing Vlogs. Even though I've been learning video editing for many years, I still struggle with it. So sometimes I just watch beginner tutorials like this.
Get more views and grow your channel.
The information in this video is presented like an insightful piece of wisdom, when it's just saying that good video editing will keep the viewer watching, and that's good for the YouTube algorithm. I already clicked on this video. She doesn't need to keep convincing me to continue watching by explaining why I need good video editing with overly wordy descriptions and constant value propositions.
There we go. And I love that point that you said, I already clicked on this video. You don't have to convince me to stay on this video and sell me on this idea with constant value propositions and constant like video editing techniques. And that's another thing that people are growing tired of. And I'm seeing it, that people don't trust or don't care for the fast cuts, the retention tactics, etc. These are basically like sales techniques within videos. And I think that they're fine, But I think people have grown tired of it now, and they're looking for more authentic content. And it's not so much about the edits and the flashy stuff. No, it's about the authentic expression, the message itself, the value within the thing. Because I mean, honestly, like if you made it past this video, and even me earlier, I was struggling with explaining the concept that I had. It's in real time. It's happening in real time. So, you know, I'm taking that risk while explaining. But if you're able to make it this far into the video, then, you know, I just have to trust that you're the right person to hear this video. Because if you can't hold your attention long enough to watch this video, then I don't think you're the right person for this video. Like, that's basically it. And, you know, I've been told in the past, like, I've had people tell me, like, yo, you'd be a good teacher. Maybe you should do YouTube videos, but, you know, maybe change the way you do it, because the way you speak is a little slower and people have a short attention span. It's like, bro, that's bullshit, dude. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, if you're telling me and you find my shit valuable, then that's all I need. So I want to focus on the people that do have the attention span. What if that's the case? What if my long form content or my little quirks or whatever, all of these things are my filtering mechanism to stop you to stop basically the wrong people to continue to connect with me. You know, the right people who stay all the way are the ones who are meant to hear it, and that's it. And I think that a lot of people are so obsessed with trying to get the most views, trying to get the highest retention, that they don't ever stop to think about, okay, what about the quality of the people who are watching it? You know, switch the fucking perspective, bro. Like, it's not always about getting the most views, about getting the quality views, or like, I mean, it's not always about the quantity of the views or who's watching, like how many people are watching you. It's about you thinking about, who do you want to watch you? Like, who is it really that you care about? Who is it that you really value? Who do you want in your circle? And that's what people are not asking themselves. I'm going to take a pause real quick because my wife's calling me. Yeah, okay, I'm back. So I'm thinking maybe I should even do live streams if I know I'm going to be taking this long on these videos. I'm already 26 minutes in. It's all good. Maybe for the future, I'll do some live streams and I'll be able to, if I find myself, I created like a long format here. So if I find myself going this long, maybe I'll just do some live streams, and that could be pretty helpful for people. You know, focus on that raw feeling. But anyways, like I said, we always are constantly thinking about the external in, but what about the internal out, right? So, you know, all these people are coming in and you want those views, but do you ever stop to think, okay, but what about those views? What is it that I really want from those views? Who am I really trying to connect with? Who do I really want in my circle? And I'm seeing it, you know, sometimes like people achieve fame and they get, like, you know, the millions of views, etc. But then, you know, they get stalkers or people who are fucking weird. And like, I think it's cool because now when I don't live trying to get these views, it almost serves as a filter of the people who come in. So people who come into my life know who I am. And if I'm genuine, then, you know, if they aren't for it, they're not for it. And so this acts as a filter mechanism, and it's how I've lived my life. Like, I've realized this, that when you're true to yourself, you're going to get rejected, but it's only natural because you're not going to be for everybody. And so being yourself, expressing your truth will bring the people who are meant to be with you closer, and the people who aren't meant to you further. And that's great. It's great. Like, why do you want everybody in your circle? You don't need everybody in your circle. You just need to get the right people in there, and you're going to feel connected to your purpose. So let me see if there's anything else that this guy, let me go into anything else I can riff off of right here. Actually, maybe I can live stream, bro. All right, I'm going to start recording and live streaming. Actually, nah, I'm going to cancel that. All right, so back to this.
I'm here already, and every video is like this. They're all so incredibly scripted to integrate constant sales tactics. The intent is not to actually share helpful advice. Instead, everything redirects their audiences to one of their revenue streams. The intent is to maximize watch time for ad revenue, sell the editing template mentioned in the video,
Which, by the way, if you're interested in Lightroom presets specifically designed to help make your YouTube thumbnails pop, I have some included in my content creator starter kit. I'll have a link to that in the description. I made a whole video of high view duration editing hacks that you can check out here. So make sure you watch that next. Check out this video, check out this video, then check out this video. Definitely check out this video. Check out that video next.
Warning sign that challenges my argument the most. I can't think of a specific example where a viewer of one of these channels is buying extra product, because these channels aren't necessarily selling physical product and they don't have bonuses or rewards in the same way a traditional pyramid do. Maybe this video gives good advice, probably doesn't, but it doesn't matter because there's no way that I do something to use the information in the video or apply the advice. It's a lot easier to click the next recommended video instead. And of course, clicking one video.
He mentioned something about pushing your content and how, you know, there's retention hacks and these sales tactics that are being used. And I've learned them before. Like, for example, in my main YouTube channel, Lucid Living, I was learning how to increase my audience retention. But now that I think about it, myself as a consumer, you know, I have the desire to learn, and when I have the desire to learn, it doesn't matter what it is, like, I'm going to consume it. So if I clicked on it, it's because I need to. And I think maybe what if the people who are watching these channels, I think about, like, you know, these thousands of views that this girl's getting. I wonder if those are really people who have gotten any value. You know, like, let's say the 648 likes, they got the value, okay, but is anybody actually on their grind? Is anybody actually building their business? You know, like, what if most of these people, which is, I know the majority of people, just consume content and don't implement anything, like, which is the fact of life. Like, most people don't implement what they learn. So these 288,000 subscribers that she has, are they actually, you know, have they actually transformed? Have they actually used the content? And that's something that I ask myself constantly. Like, what about the hundreds of thousands of views that I'm getting? Are the people who are that, you know, or that I'm gonna get, or that I want to get, the people that come to me, they need to get something of value, transform, go change their life. And if they don't ever need me again, then that's great. But I feel like people are constantly trying to sell dependency. Like, they want you to hook and become dependent on them, and that's not the kind of relationship that I'm looking for. Nah, like, you find my content, you find it valuable, you go and transform, and then you go and then maybe you raise yourself up, and then you become your higher self. You know, you become higher, you level up, and so then you can come back to me and you're like, hey Jose, I actually like what you're doing here, maybe we can collaborate. And that's the goal for me. You know, I'm not here, I hope that, you know, with my community, or and I'm working on courses, these are things that you come into and you become transformed. That's it. You transform and you don't need me. And that's the goal. And that's really what I want. But in the past, what I was learning is that you have to kind of, like, you know, have people be dependent on you. You have to be able to, you know, push these tactics, sell them on things, constantly be doing that. It's like, no, sometimes, you know, I think there's a balance, because sometimes people aren't very, you know, attentive about the different things that happen, and sometimes they do need a reminder, like, hey, if you're looking for a community, come check me out. People of like-minded, you know, efforts and wanting to create the same world that you want to create, come check me out. Sometimes they need that reminder, because maybe it's the first time they watch your video, and they want to get to know more of you, and so that, you know, segments, that makes it easier segue to them joining a community and being in the right place. But also, if I'm constantly pushing it, if I'm constantly, you know, if I make my videos just to push my products, that's not the point. Sometimes I'm just going to make videos just because they need to be said, and that's it. It's like somebody needs to hear it. So that's what it looks like to be constantly trying to replicate other people's success. And I see it here on YouTube, and YouTube is just an example, but constantly we don't stop to think about what we're actually doing. What does it mean to be successful? And so this is a very strong concept that, you know, from my heart, that I really care about, because it has helped me out. Like, I'm like releasing so much of the, you know, fragmented ways of seeing business, so much of the, disconnecting ways, and now I'm honing in on something that is real and something that is truly fulfilling. So I really want to emphasize this, also, and it's not so bad this is consumerism, basically. Consumerism is based on people buying things and paying money, and I'm not against that. Right now, maybe I'm putting it in a bad light. Maybe I'm shining, I want to open your eyes to this, but there's a balance. Money needs to be made to sustain a business, but it's like about where that money is coming from and how that money is being made. Am I selling you through fear, or am I selling you through love? Right? Because this is a path that you're choosing, right? Like, if you don't want to purchase my course, that's completely fine, right? And you're gonna learn what you need to learn, and maybe my course isn't for you. Maybe I am not for you. And I trust that. I trust the universe. I trust God. I trust life, that people will always find what they are looking for. And so if that means not me, then it's not me. But if it's me, then let's get it, bro. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. And that's my attitude. So hopefully that shines through, like that's my, like, I know in the future, if I get to have discussions with other business people, like, I'm gonna push this shit hella, bro, because people do not understand this. They're living a life which is constantly trying to move people through fear, and I'm trying to end that, first off, and it starts with me. So enough of that. That's the negative side. Now let's talk about aligning with your purpose. So when you trust your soul, you align your business with your true purpose, leading to a more authentic, fulfilling, and lasting success. I'll give you a quick reflection. Like right now, for example, right now I'm learning that good things take time. I'm finding fulfillment in the little wins. I'm realizing that every single day I'm progressing, and every single day is a new opportunity. And as I connect with people of like-minded, that are like-minded, then it leads to more synchronicities, and I'm attracting my ideal life, and it's happening. And I'm not so stressed out about how fast it's happening. No, like, I know that things come when they need to come, and I understand that as I take my steps little by little, and I walk through life tuned into my purpose, then the things will unveil. The things will come to me. And so aligning with your purpose is the fulfillment already. It already gives you that. It already gives you what you're looking for. It gives you that validation, but it's not a validation that comes from the external world, because that creates dependency. It creates codependency. No, it's a validation that comes from your soul. So then that leads to you being happy, you being expressive, you being gentle, you being caring, you being compassionate, because you're not looking to get anything else from anybody else. You're fulfilled. So all you have now is to give, and you shall receive. And it will be a constant path of giving and receiving, which leads to an abundance at a larger scale that is that I'm seeing and I'm experiencing, and I love it. And I'm excited now to see the future in 10 years. Maybe right now I'm only at 20 people in my community, but those are 20 people that are going to get the most out of my community, that are going to evolve with me. Versus like having 100 that don't pay attention, are just there just because I don't know why they're there, and I don't feel any engagement, I don't feel any connection, and I'm constantly worried about how to get more engagement, how to get more connection. Like, no, dude, just be aligned with your purpose, show up, and make sure that you're cutting off the ones that aren't really for you, and that's it. So like I said, let's go to the next point, okay? Soul-driven decisions. Decisions made from your soul or intuition tend to be more aligned with long-term vision and integrity rather than short-term gains. Going back to my community, when you make decisions from your soul is living from the fucking like the future, bro. Like, think about it like that. So if your soul is telling you to do something, it's because it's in your best interest. And you're not like, people want to, get the short-term gains, but it's not always going to be in your interest. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And so just because I can push, products to my viewership, to my viewers, doesn't mean I should. And it's the same thing for my community. Like, I'm learning that I'm still connecting with the people who are joining, and I'm still learning about, okay, so this is how it feels like to be a leader, in the community. And I'm getting a lot of information about kind of like building the foundation, really honing in on these, 6 months. I feel like these 6 months are very important, and I'm taking in the information to see what it is that I'm going to create. How do I, what is it that I'm going to be helping people with? What is it that I'm lacking? What do I need to build? And then what is it that I have, and what can I give to people right now? So these things are very important, and so when you move from your soul, it's so hard to make a mistake, because you're moving through it with integrity. You're being transparent. You're being vulnerable. You're letting people know where you're at. You're letting people know the vision. You're connecting at the heart level, and everything that comes from there is only going to lead to abundance. Versus when it's about the short-term gains, you sacrifice long-term connections. I think about it even with the people that come into my community. Like maybe, I could push my coaching business. Like I am a coach, and maybe that would allow me to make more money and leave my job. But you know what? Like I don't think that's needed right now. Right now I'm in a great place. I'm creating content, and there's really no limits. Like I'm living my dream life, which is I have my wife, I have my kid, I have my job that I'm paying the bills. I'm able to learn more every day. I'm able to create content, and I'm able to connect with people that I love. So why rush these things? No, dude. Like if these gifts came from patience, then future gifts will come from more patience. That's really it, man. Building something unique. So trusting your soul allows you to build a unique business that's tailored to your passions, skills, and the value that you want to provide. And this will go into my business. Like my soul has brought me the long-term vision of what I want to create, what kind of impact I want to have on this world. I want to create a business that revolutionizes the way that people see spirituality and psychology and self-transformation in general. I want to basically dominate the space when it comes to self-transformation. And I know I can, and I know I will. That's because I have the dedication to be able to put in the work and slow down also. Like, if it requires that I go get a PhD and become a psychologist, then I'll do it. If it requires that I learn more about holistic healing, then I'll do it. And if it requires that I take more time and slow down, then I'll do it. Why? Because at the end of the day, I don't know what the universe is going to ask me for. What exactly does the universe need from me? That's the place I'm operating from. Like, it's not about what can I get from the universe. It's what does the universe need from me? And the shift that shift is so powerful. What does the universe need for you? Stop asking what the universe can give you and start asking what you can give to the universe. Because when that happens, then the universe will bring you the answers and be like, hey, bro, I need you to do this. And I will reward you. That's God, right? That's God. That's how God works. When you ask, how can I serve? You will take on any endeavor, because God will always serve you back. It's a relationship, bro. It's a relationship. It's like, it's not just about you. And so have faith, surrender to the moment, surrender to life, listen and connect to God, connect to your higher self, connect to your soul. And when you do that, then you are gifted all the courage in the world, all the certainty in the world, all the clarity in the world. And so you will not ask anymore for money. You will not ask anymore for leads. You will not ask anymore for follows or for the numbers. No, you will not ask for that anymore. You will only ask for more of the same: clarity, compassion, certainty, confidence, love, service, purpose. Those are the things you're going to be asking for. And when that becomes the things that you ask for, then you will only give what you have. And that will be more of the same, more abundance, more internal abundance. So it's not so much about cutting yourself off from the abundance of money, etc. No, it's about redefining the way that you see abundance and allowing more of it to come in. Because you're already there, bro. Like, that's why I like telling people, like, you're already there. You just need to get out of your own way. So how to tap into your intuition. So this is a more practical side, and I kind of go into these topics in my Lucid Living channel, and I hope to go into them also. Lots of different things you can learn. Meditation is very popular. There's so much content out there on meditation and intuition. Journaling, that we just finished the journaling challenge last month. Having people journal to access their inner thoughts, feelings, emotions, etc. And that allows them to basically gain an understanding of where they are at internally, which will basically allow them to gain clarity. And with clarity comes intention and action. There's many different practices, right? Meditation, journaling. There's a lot of content, a lot of information, visualizations, etc. To tap you into your intuition, to your higher self. I personally have a practice. I study, I meditate, I journal. Those are my 3 pillars of honing in on my intuition. I also use divination techniques. There's tarot. There's also the gene keys. There's, I also look into synchronicities. There's so many different things that you can use. But the thing is that putting an emphasis on that. So if you're struggling with that, if you want to join a community that is based on that, on teaching people how to access their intuition, how to be tuned into their purpose, then you can join my community. The link will be down below. Right now we're focusing on expressing oneself. So expressing oneself authentically, whether it be on social media or just, in the community, just teaching people how to demystify social media and expression in general and learn how to be vulnerable and embody their power and be true to themselves, basically. So that's the challenge for this month. And if you're curious, you can join and we'll be working on that. Any doubts? So next section, we want to go in dealing with doubts and external pressures, the importance of basically showing up. Basically, when you follow your soul, the most important thing is that you just show up and that you do it, regardless of what's going on. I think a lot of people struggle with connecting to their soul, or maybe they're already connected, but they're not expressing it. And that is the next block. And, as you move up, you connect to your heart chakra, and then you have your throat chakra. And so the throat chakra is the next step, expressing the love that you have within you. And it can be difficult because if you might not be around people that are willing to hear you. And let me show you a little story. Like, for example, a few years ago or last year, I started an Instagram page, a podcast, basically. We have a podcast on social media, and we actually got a lot of views. We got a lot of attention. A lot of people showed us a lot of love for the content. And, we got artists on here. We got popular artists, and we made some moves, bro. We really made an impact. And that's me drinking, bro. I was drunk. But 1920 is not bad. And we could have grown a lot more. But the issue was that I wasn't aligned with my partners. I wasn't aligned with the guys. I just felt like I wanted to talk about more things, and it was just a hard relationship to have. So I ended up leaving, and I started also realizing that I want to create my own posts. I want to talk about what I have in mind. Like, the container there wasn't big enough for all of us. And here I posted, for example, Dance as a Teacher of Life. People, like, I'm expressing myself and I'm showing up, right? So when I was this was a desire of my heart to create a podcast for social dancers, and it was a beautiful trip, and I think I'm gonna come back to that soon. But right now I'm on pause, and I've learned that when you show up, people will receive you, right? Like, this was a success, we can put it, quote unquote. But also here on Reddit, I showed up and people did not receive me. 19% upvote rate. So that means that, wasn't that well received. People were talking shit about me, my thing. Let's see. So people just really weren't getting it. Sometimes they just didn't receive it. A couple of moments where I would say I was in flow state. They actually were well receiving of that. I mean, it's not that bad, but here was the triggers. I triggered some people on the masculine and the feminine. This is so weird. It veers into off topic. You can't even mention bachata once. It's click my blog so I can make money vibes. This is rubbing me totally the wrong way, but thanks for the insight into your interpretation of the world. I hear ChatGPT. Yeah, I mean, I did use ChatGPT. I think maybe back then I was more concerned about doing the right thing, and I think this is what people often struggle with. I just talked about my lessons in dance, connecting spirituality to dance, and a lot of people didn't like it. And I think maybe part of that was I also wasn't fully in my understanding of what I was meant to do. For example, this is so stupid, well said, this is rambling nonsense, posting plugs to your blog, That's physical disease, blah blah. That dancing community shifting from men to women leaders to avoid toxic stereotypes and that come with these chauvinistic role models. So these people don't even understand what I'm saying. And I even downvoted this guy. I was like, bruh, how to use words and topics to mimic intellectualism. I was like, yeah, for sure. I got it downvoted. Dumbest thing I've read. How high are you? And then people just disliked. So, you know, this is what happens when you're like, I think I will admit that back then I posted this like a few months ago. So I did use ChatGPT, but I wrote it out and I just had ChatGPT organize it and make it more like organize it basically and make it sound better or clear, hopefully, was the goal. People didn't receive it well. People didn't understand what I was saying. And so I was showing up because I knew that this was important. It had helped me out a lot and I wanted it to help people out too. And so I received a lot of hate, basically. And it's what happens when you show up and you express yourself. And maybe here it's a reflection onto myself also. Like, was I really ready to post? I think I was ready back then, but I wasn't ready to embody myself fully, authentically. So if that was the case, then I would have just created my own channel and just done my own thing, which is what I started to do now. So like, you know, I went into the salsa community and Reddit thinking that this was the right people, that they will give me the validation, and they didn't. And so maybe this is another thing which I was thinking, like, maybe you are just ahead of your time. And this is another thing, like, it's not so much about being egotistical or whatever, but maybe the ideas that you have are just on the precipice of being discovered by the majority. And so you might just be ahead. And I think the fact that you are ahead, if we talk, you know, we reflect on the people who died being ahead of their time, for example, like Da Vinci or, you know, Nikola Tesla, people that weren't very well respected in their circles or called crazy or misunderstood. They're often revered in the future because of discoveries that were made thanks to them. So, and this isn't so much of like this egotistical approach where I'm like, oh, I'm ahead of my time, nobody understands me, because no, like, you're watching this video, so you understand. But you might just be ahead of your you know, current circle's time. Maybe the people around you aren't really at the level you're at, and it makes sense. If you're striving for evolution, that means you have to outgrow people, and that's just gonna happen. So, you know, you have to be willing to put yourself out there, show up, and evolve, and be honest, and be vulnerable. Do that, because as you do that, then you will create a trail for people to follow, you know, that can serve them. So, you know, this is a point where I'm saying, it's like, you're gonna face opposition, and I'm facing it myself. I'm being honest. Like, look at this shit, bro. Right? Like, this happened, and so the question will always be, you know, are you building a business that aligns with your soul's purpose? You know, are you doing what you're doing because it aligns with your soul's purpose? And if you do, then you will always find the right people. You just got to keep showing up, and hopefully this helps as a way. This serves as an encouraging message to you. And let's see, the path to success might be slower, but when you trust your intuition, you're building something that lasts, right? And I think it's even more than that. It's like, the path to success might seem like it's slower, but the transformation that you will undergo and trusting in your intuition will be much deeper, and it will be much wide encompassing. So that within itself will speed up your growth. And I'm talking about your internal growth, which will then elevate you to a place that can help people better, serve people better. So yeah, this is a whole, you know, new approach. Lots of things that I've learned. Hopefully this was helpful. I know it was a long video, so I thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna leave you now. Thank you for tuning in. It's your boy. Stay lucid. Peace.